just late last week that Nigeria was put on the red list. And then this week Nigeria had said they were going to retaliate and all of that. So it was 2 days ago.
And just before we did.
Just for we retaliate, yes, they removed us from the red list.
And they started, the application started now. You can apply to the UK if you want to do a visit. The application process has resumed.
So a lot of people have sort of lauded the Nigerian government because people argued that we didn't have anything to leverage on, so there was nothing to hold anybody else to ransom for. But I guess, I don't know, obviously, this news story on Tuesday, Wednesday, December 15th, talked about the removal of Nigeria from the red list. It says here, the United Kingdom very early today removed from its travel red list the 11 African countries, including Nigeria, put there as a result of the Omicron virus of COVID-19. The government had yesterday dropped hint of removing the names of Nigeria and others from the list after the federal government threatened to also put on its travel red list such countries as UK, Canada, Saudi Arabia and Argentina, which had taken a similar action against Nigeria if they failed to remove Nigeria from the list. The names of the African countries include Nigeria, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, Angola, Mozambique, Lesotho, Malawi, Zambia, Eswatini and Zimbabwe were removed from the list as early as 4 a.m. This came as the UAE also conceded 6 slots to Air Peace, both at the Dubai and Sharjah airports, barely 24 hours after Emirates Airline asked foreign airlines not to airlift Nigerians to UAE. Speaking at the UK Parliament, Sajid Javid, UK Health Secretary, said the Omicron variant has spread so widely across the world, adding that the travel red list was now less effective. What were your thoughts on? For me, it felt like a victory. With the airline issue and the red list issue, there were sort of two separate issues that were on that for me was victorious, because I felt like, okay, everyone's just going to just stamp down on this Nigeria because we have to have something we can leverage on and say, hey, you can't keep doing this to us. So what were your thoughts when the news came out that especially Air Peace, the fighting had worked and then us being removed from the red list?
I'll start with the red list. I was very unimpressed. I think I was a lot disappointed with the narratives that we saw from government officials, Lai Mohammed and a couple of others, calling it a travel appetite and, blowing over. What is the big deal of not being able to stay in your country? And I felt like they were all being angry about it because it's the time of the year when you would have all these government officials fly out of the country to go, do what they do in these countries. How did that affect the ordinary person? I just felt like all the noise, and I may be wrong because there are other people who have businesses and would have been affected by this in large proportions, but on the part of government officials and people who contribute to making this country as uncomfortable as it is for a lot of people, I felt like it was unnecessary noise. Britain took that rule because they were trying to look out for their own country. If we're not doing it, we shouldn't be angry for other people for doing it. And if there's a reason, some people at the time argued Nigeria only had about 21 cases of Omicron. The UK had over hundreds of cases. Why would they have us on the list? The truth is our processes and our procedures for curtailing these things in terms of, for instance, getting vaccinated and having a card that proves you're vaccinated doesn't work. People who are not are able to buy these cards, so they do not trust our processes, and that for me is reason enough for us to come up on that list, because we've proven that we cannot really conduct ourselves in the appropriate way. So for me, I felt like it was okay for us to have been banned. If we had done right, we wouldn't have been banned. And then I felt angered by all the noise from government officials who were calling it different names, trying to draw out emotions. I felt I could be wrong again, but I felt it was all for their personal good.
Okay,
interesting. Wow.
Thank you for your position, and I not begrudge you of your position.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do not accept your position.
Absolutely.
Now, you see, let me say my opinion about it and be clear. I'm wondering in my head when I was listening to the Transport Secretary in the UK at the House. What changed? Now, I agree with your position that we had not done well with our COVID-19 protocols and the rest, but I will say that Lagos did fantastic with this thing. They still follow people who came in the 8th day, the 3rd day, the 8th day, and the rest. They still find out about people who traveled into Nigeria. They're still planning to prosecute some people. So Lagos is actually doing what it's good. Maybe not.
Lagos is just one state in Nigeria.
Now, the point I now want to make is, when they banned us, when they put us on that red list, what was their reason? Second is that, so what changed from that week they put us on that red list to when they removed us on that list?
The realization that Omicron had spread within the UK.
Exactly.
Enough for them. You see the thing, that's why they didn't hold on to the red list. They disbanded it. So that means it wasn't to. They were not trying to be vengeful.
That was their official position. But the truth of the matter is, let me tell you, the truth of the matter is
official position.
Yes,
okay.
The truth of the matter is, nothing changed.
Absolutely, they knew how the situation of things from the word go.
Exactly.
They knew that it didn't take 5 days or how many days for them to realize that Omicron had spread across the world.
And that was the position that a number of us are holding, that, see, if Omicron is in your country, it is not the fault of those people who are traveling in, it will still spread. Whether you stop people from coming in or not, that disease will spread.
I have one question though. Why wasn't Rwanda or Ghana on that list? They are African countries. They are third world. They're just like us.
Do they have the cases of Omicron at the time? Do they have the case of Omicron that they traveled to UK with it?
So you're just pointing out the reason why we are on that list.
I'm saying nothing changed for them to remove us from that list. They should have stuck to that list and not remove us from the list.
And I'm saying we wouldn't have been on that list if we had done what we needed to do from the get-go. That's my position.
You're saying that Rwanda did what they were supposed to do?
Yes, those countries are more accountable when it comes to...
How many are the people in Rwanda compared to Nigeria?
So is that the excuse now?
I'm telling you that. How many are they? Okay, if Lagos is doing what they're doing, you think it's not good enough to see Nigeria in a good light? The point is, it is still the issue that something was wrong with that policy. Right. And it wasn't a good policy.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And to say that, obviously, it wasn't just, obviously we like to think that our political office holders, and in most cases, yes, a lot of times they are selfish. And sometimes it's only when something affects them that they start to obviously do something about it. But then there are people who are Nigerians who are not political office holders who were very much affected by this. Businesses were affected by this.
I didn't even want to talk about the way people were affected by it.
Yes.
Because I don't make the economy into it. But the truth is, some lives
absolutely,
were
businesses
affected.
It's just the same way that we're all affected by bad government policies within Nigeria. Yes. Our leaders are constantly taking decisions that are making our life terrible.
Absolutely.
And we're having to live with that.
So UK should not treat us the way they treat us.
Absolutely. And also, it's not a factor. It's not a factor of
like a country's partnership.
And it's not a factor of you should stay in your country because we have expatriates in this country.
They should stay in their country.
Exactly. Yes, so it's not about Nigerians should stay in your country because we can't all stay in our country. It's not realistic. Everybody has to travel.
It's a global village.
Of course, we can't all stay in our country. That's for certain. I'm not saying everybody should stay in their country. I'm just saying that, in my own opinion, there is good reason for why we were on that list.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think so. We have to take a short commercial break at this point. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I like this.
Splash FM 105.5. My people, this na the story of Zainab. Na better food she dey chop to take start her day. Come in, show her body with the ogbonge one, the Dior syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12. She don dey kampe, ready to go.
Joe, Anna.
Good morning, Zainab. That na why she dey shine well for work.
Abeg, pass me the script.
And even for play. The Dior syrup of hemoglobin get vitamin B12 and protein to help fight anemia, exhaustion, and fatigue. Just knack 2 spoons of the Dior every day, and na so you go just dey sharp rapa. You fit take them direct, or you fit mix them with juice. Show say you be champion. Take the Dior.
To be healthy, strong, and active, I say, take the Dior.
The Dior syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12. Now the power to unleash. Make una read the product leaflet o.
Ohun tí ó wù mí fún Kérésìmesì ni.
Oúnjẹ tó wà nourishing, iyán, ìrẹsì, àbùlà, pepper soup.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí Kérésìmesì yín dùn pẹ̀lú àpótí Kérésìmesì náà tó kún fún ìsebẹ̀ náà lóríṣiríṣi, ẹ̀bùn ọ̀fẹ́ àti ìwé ìléwọ́ tó kún fún ọ̀nà àti ṣe oríṣiríṣi oúnjẹ Kérésì tó ṣara lóore. Ẹ yà sílé ìtajà tó súnmọ́ yín láti rà fún nílò àti láti rà fún pínpín láàrin ọ̀rẹ́ àti mọ̀lẹ́bí yín.
Ẹ dákun ẹ fún mi ní àpótí Kérésìmesì náà kan ẹ jọ̀ọ́.
Àtẹ̀mí náà.
The
are so many things you've got to worry about, but there are certain things that shouldn't cross your mind, like being stranded on a weekend because you don't have access to cash. Introducing a convenient, easy-to-use, and safe way for you to do all your financial transactions. Now you can send and receive money, deposit and withdraw, pay for airtime and data, or pay your electricity, water, or cable TV bills with TouchPoint by Total Energies. TouchPoint, your one-stop shop. Just walk into any Total Energies filling station near you to enjoy.
Christmas, the good season. A good season to be with the ones you love. A good season to light up the air. A good season to turn up with friends. A good season to cook your favorite jollof. And a good season to wash everything down with Malta Guinness.
Share the goodness of the season with the Christmas limited edition Malta Guinness. Don't just have a Merry Christmas, have a Malta Christmas. Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
This festive.
Wow, I feel good.
Because I choose non-stop sports action.
Talk to the one. So good.
But you also brought someone along who's not a member.
Yeah, I choose local drama filled with suspense.
We've got a serious case of the wedgies.
For my kids, I choose cartoon shows that are full of laughter.
I feel good.
Hell yeah! Choose over 135 channels full of joyful entertainment.
I knew that I wouldn't.
You too, choose joy this holidays. DSTV, it's your moment.
Bode, now what do you find for kitchen?
My dear, now spoon to drink off medicine.
Honey, take comics. Just here, drink, and get relief.
Yes, so summer comics for scratch throat. Comics get dextromethorphan and guanfacine. Just here, drink and get relief from cough. Idekulele to drink.
Are they relief now? I love comics.
Now, Orange Drugs Limited, they distribute comics. Products will make you drowsy. If symptoms never stop after 3 days, make you waka go see your doctor. Comics, Idekulele.
It's that time of the year. Time for love and time for thank you. For enjoying Honeywell semolina, thank you. And pasta, thank you. And noodles, thank you. And wheat meal, thank you. And flour all year long, thank you. As you enjoy the spirit of the season with loved ones, share the Honeywell seasonal pack filled with Honeywell goodness. Honeywell does it well.
Hello?
Thank God. Hello? Hello, Polo. How far now? My wife just born picking now. I beg.
Congratulations, my guy.
Thank you, my guy. Thank you, Polo. I beg. You fit borrow me urgent 30K. Immediately then pay me salary, I go sort you. I beg, Polo, my guy.
Wait, no be Friday here you borrow 60K for office. What's happening?
Polo, I get 6 children now. You didn't forget.
Plus this new one, 7.
My brother, no turn God blessing to problem for yourself. Call Honey and Banana Connect on top 55059. Make them refer you to Ubunge Clinic. We go help you and Madam with all our family planning matter. No toxic no help you. Call 55059 today. They talk private and now free. Hello, Polo, are you there? Hey. Honey and Banana Connect. Call 55059 today.
Splash FM 105.5.
Interesting. Welcome back. I wish you could actually quickly take phone calls and see what people's thoughts are, especially as we're divided on that subject matter. But I'm sure that it's a matter of opinion. There are people who also agree that the UK was well in its right to put us on that list.
Please don't go to Buhari's birthday.
That's true. Happy 79th birthday to our president.
Dear president's birthday.
Absolutely. And he's on his way to where again?
Turkey, which is fantastic. Which is where we're about to go, because obviously he's been criticized, as usual, but more so in recent time because of this visit to Turkey with his wife and 7 ministers, as opposed to actually paying condolence visits to certain parts of the country that is bleeding.
The north is bleeding.
The north is bleeding. And also, he had time to also go to Lagos, I think it was last week, to attend a book launch. Well, this Punch story, which actually is from today, says the President Buhari has snubbed calls to visit northern Nigeria amid the rising insecurity in the region. Rather, the president on Thursday traveled with his wife Aisha and 7 ministers to Istanbul to attend the 3rd Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit. Buhari had come under attack in recent times due to the rising insecurity in the region, with youths campaigning with the hashtag Secure North and hashtag North is Bleeding. As of Thursday evening, over 2,000 people had signed a petition on change.org calling on the president to declare a state of emergency in parts of Kaduna, Zamfara, Sokoto and Katsina due to the insecurity, even as the president has refused to visit victims. During protests on Wednesday, the demonstrators said the president should personally visit communities where bandits had attacked, rather than sending delegates there. Some northern groups faltered the president's decision to visit Lagos for the book launch of All Progressives Congress chieftain BC Akande, barely 2 days after a busload of passengers were burnt alive by bandits in Sokoto State. Defending the president on Monday, the Minister of Police Affairs, Maigari Dangiadi, said it was impossible for the president to pay condolence visits to victims, adding that sending a delegation was proper. They say these attacks are happening almost on a daily basis. It's not possible for the president to visit all the places for condolences. And if you send a delegation, it is as if you were there all the same. Also, his senior special assistant on media and publicity, also defending, said in a statement on Thursday that the president had traveled to Turkey for a summit. And then he said, he didn't quite make any defense. But yes, what are your thoughts on this defense that, there are attacks going on, obviously putting the president in the eye of the storm with some of these things happening. They're saying obviously it's not realistic or it's not proper. And obviously sending a delegate, that he should not be, people obviously should not criticize him too much for going for a book launch as opposed to visiting places where there's insecurity going on, because these things are happening on a daily basis, they say. What are your thoughts on this? Should the president still have gone, still showed some sensitivity by visiting? Or, he's the president. If something happens to him, we would have a big problem on our hands. What are your thoughts, Charlie?
Well, I always think about outcry on something that the president have been consistent about. How many crises places have the president visited, since he became the president in 2019? Or, people should just come out and tell us how he had been, coming out to places where there are problems. How many times has he visited Benue? How many times did he visit Maiduguri? How many times did he visit the northeast and move around where you have people killed and the rest? So, like traditional would say, it is not Buhari's style. So if he has sent a delegation to that place, maybe we should just take it. Hopefully, maybe you get a president who will be able to roll off his sleeve and go to events where he has to go, where people die. If you have a school shooting in America, for instance, you know what happens to an American president? An American president wears a white shirt, folds his sleeves, and then addresses people at the ground zero, and then you see him moving around, inspecting and checking. Even the old Biden had done it 2-3 times that I've seen on CNN. So if it's not Buhari's style, please don't begrudge the man. Why don't you just leave him, let him do whatever he's doing until the end of his tenure, as it were. For me, I'm tired of asking Buhari to speak to us. Like Edmund will say, why do you want him to speak? So let him be and let him do his government in his own style. I don't think we should be asking Buhari to visit Katsina, to visit Maiduguri, visit Kaswan, whatever, where anything had happened. Even when a whole bus filled with Nigerians is lighted and they were roasted, Buhari can send a commissioner for something to go and visit them.
Is that sarcasm by hearing your voice?
I don't know.
Anyway, I think that the voices in the north and more people calling the president to maybe make an appearance is because we all know that the north is the biggest cheerleader of the president. He has support from the north years before he emerged as the president. They've been rooting for him. And I think it's fair to say that this is the first time that we're seeing certain parts of the north, like the northwest, or say maybe even other parts of the north central, be involved in such chaos that spreads across almost every state. So this is not exactly what they're used to. And this is supposed to be their man, their president, from their region. So I'm thinking perhaps they thought they would see more reaction from the president, considering that this is his region. And so I ascribe this, this voice of criticism that's coming up against this to that. But is it surprising that the president isn't visiting there? As Shewa said, it's not his style. But should he? I feel like it's a matter of priority, really. When you have internal issues, isn't that more important? The people in your country should be more important than anything else. Yes, he's going for a summit that perhaps would have some economic relevance. But at the core of the responsibility of the president is his duty to citizens. And the people in the north, of course, fall within that. So personally, I think it's not too much to ask the president to make a showing, considering the level of carnage and destruction that's been consistently going down in certain parts of the northwest and other parts of the northeast for days now. And the people are well within their right to be angry. I said it yesterday that it seems like voices in the north are rising up more and more than they've ever done before in criticism of this president, because that's something you usually see. There's usually this empathy that they show towards the president when things are not going well, like they're not quick to slack, but now that all of that is changing. The youth themselves are are being vocal about their disappointment with the level to which insecurity has spread in the north.
Talking about the youth president of the Southern Kaduna People's Union, Isaac John, in an interview with the Punch, said he was not surprised by the action of the president. According to him, only God has been holding the country. He said, "I'm not surprised and I do not expect anyone to be. It is the same old story. He would leave even if the entire country is on fire. Let me say at this point that it is only God that is holding the country." All right. I mean, it is sad, but like he said, no one should be surprised. This is the second term, and the president has been known really for this, basically. From time immemorial, he's someone who has always been asked to speak about certain, germane issues, who has always been asked to visit certain places, and he just hasn't. So even...
you tie this to President Olusegun Obasanjo's former president's speech about the president can't do anything more than he actually has done, and thinking or expecting him to do so would be tantamount to flogging a dead horse, And I know how Lai Mohammed came to talk about that issue, but you see something like this, and then you ask, really, couldn't the former president be accurate in his summation of the president's 6 years, considering that these things continue to happen, yet we're seeing the same nonchalant attitude, if I would call it that, from the president?
So implying that the president has done his best. He cannot do more than we cannot expect him to do more than he has done.
Did you see the headline quoted from Obasanjo? This week. That's the thing. Yeah. So for me, just personal opinion, I don't think that expecting President Buhari to act like Biden, Obama, or act, the way you're thinking in our head, for him to go out all there. Okay, now, even realistically, how many ground zeros will Buhari visit?
It's so normal.
So rampant.
That's the sad, yes.
And so for certain groups in the north to say north is bleeding, it tells you, these are people who tell us that, why are you guys protesting?
Say Buhari, come rain, come shine.
Why are you people protesting? You people want to pull down the government of President Buhari. This thing is simply just orchestrated. Wow. But now you see how many people in the north are not happy with the fact that they're not secured. We also are not even thinking about the reality of our situation. How many of us can travel to Ilesha, Ife, at 7 p.m. from Ibadan? How many of us would take that risk? Sometimes you want to go, some people from your family member will tell you, don't take your car, don't wear good clothes. It's an indication that all is not well.
It's not well.
That's what it means. And so you want to travel to Jos, and they tell you when you get to Abuja, please sleep over. If you're going through the road, sleep. So by morning, you travel again. It means a whole lot. There were times when I used to travel from DC Ibadan to Jos. I'd go through the night bus, and I enjoyed the journey. By morning,
you sleep soundly at night.
Yes, by morning we are in Jos. We're in Jos, and the cold is hitting you on your face, and you know that you have arrived. You have in the city of Jos, and you left last night, and then in the morning you are already in Jos. But today, how many people are happy to take such a journey? Absolutely. How many of us are happy, to let our child go and serve in Plateau, or go and serve in Gombe, or to go and serve in Katsina?
It's really preposterous. I mean, and I get when people say, this is something that's happening a lot. So how many can he visit? But then he can go abroad. I don't know if our leaders don't feel shame. This kind of thing is happening in your country, yet you're able to go, to different countries, do photo ops with leaders of countries where they're obviously... I just don't get it. It feels just for me like there's a lack of shame. And I just don't know. I just don't know what to say. And we have been saying these things for close to 2023 is around the corner. And to ask though, because now the North is feeling it when we say don't vote based on ethnic lines. Do you think that this will deter people next time?
I don't think so. Perhaps somebody will say that we have weaponized poverty. When he was saying it to me 2016, 2017, I was thinking, weapon, poverty, it really didn't make sense. But today, you see, how many measures of rice would you need to convince someone to vote for you? How many measures of beans do you think you need? 1, 2 is enough for somebody to come and vote for you if you're able to give them that. So the truth is, we're poorer. More poor people in Nigeria today than they were in 2019. And so as we approach 2023, if this poverty rate is growing the way it's growing, look, it won't take much from politicians to give our people, and we'll still have naive voters who are unenlightened.
Right. Let me read this text that says, good morning, yo. Well, we can talk, but the reality is that this administration has failed woefully regarding insecurity. Let's hope for 2023, avoid another costing mistake, Timothy. But when people say that, it just sounds so general. 2023 is literally next year. And of course, we've already started seeing some of these politicians already doing what they do around this time. So, when we say let's avoid another costing mistake, people thought they were avoiding a costing mistake 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, except you have something really specific and distinct that or plans. I don't know. I really don't.
We have messages on Facebook. Abiodun Falaye says, prevention is better than cure. We need to be more aware of our health. The COVID-19 pandemic crippled businesses all over the world 2 years back. Hence, the needful as regards sensitization of all is to be taken serious. The government should use their offices to better their best in making the economy and life easy for us all. That defines their responsibilities as the leader, not just by words but by actions. Chigozie also saying, good morning. Buhari, we know, doesn't like condolence visitation unless for political gain. So anybody expecting him to do that is wasting their time. The North are the problem themselves. Okay. Thank you for those messages. Those are what we have at the moment.
Let's take some of these calls. I think we can, so that we can take some calls. The Gwe registry, Bruha, that happened. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Yes, I'm Oluwaseun Julius.
Oh, Oluwaseun Julius, good to have you here. Go ahead.
Seun, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Oluwaseun.
Good morning.
It's good to have you.
I want to stand this morning to celebrate my president, Muhammadu Buhari, for his birthday, 79th birthday. I want to assume that is an official age, but I want to congratulate him for completing 79 years on earth.
You don't want us to get into that argument.
Oluwaseun, please, Oluwaseun. Do you know that Mr. President has seriously tried for these 6-7 years he has been our president? Honestly, we need to give kudos and say bravo to him because he has really tried for us as a country. Number 1, banditry has increased. Number 2, kidnapping has increased. Number 3, hardship has increased. Number 4, Nigerians can no longer stay, even in their personal house, well secured. Number 5, we are seeing it that Mr. President is just on his own. Whenever anything happens to us, he's not caring. But he can go anywhere outside the country to console them, could take condolence visit and even going on international travel with him and his family members and other people. Medical issue, medical tourism, another thing for these 6 years. We appreciate him. More years for him. Happy birthday, Baba. God will sustain you. Thank you and God bless you all. Have a good and wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
I do not understand him actually. I wish I understood.
No, he's wishing the president happy birthday is all he's saying.
That's all he said.
Simple, right?
He said he has tried, and the thing he said after that.
Well, he's being sarcastic. That's
sarcasm. Okay. Wow.
Oh my God! You know, people have different ways of surviving the reality, different ways of coping with this. For some people, it's sarcasm, and that's fine as well.
All right, we've got somebody else here. Hello, good morning. Hi, good morning. Good morning. What's your name, please?
Charles.
All right, Charles, go ahead.
You see, when we look at the issue of the president critically, people are complaining that he travel out of the country. But when I look at the issue of insecurity in the country, the president has provided the armed forces with everything they need. What else do you want the president to do? Even during the last time administration, it was the same problem we had. Insecurity, we were bombing everywhere. The army teams are there. The armed police are there. We have the Navy, we have the police, we have the what are they doing? Would the president go and fight for them? Let us stay the state. The president has given them all the support they want. They should go out and make sure they tackle insecurity in the country and stop putting all the blame on the president. And for the Commission of Nigeria from the list, from the red list, I think UK for economic reasons, they know what they stand to lose. If they keep Nigeria on that list, that's one of the reasons they remove Nigeria. And they did this. Why they put Nigeria in the first place is based on I think they use data to check how many people have been infected with that Omicron in Nigeria. I think at that time, like 21 people have been infected in Nigeria. So that data they use. After they studied that data, they now realize, okay, they should remove Nigeria, and not only because of the data, because of economic reasons and what they stand to lose if Nigeria is still on that list. That's why Nigeria is removed. Thank you
very much for your comment this beautiful day. All right, so any more calls there before we say BYE, actually? I have one or two things to say before we go, but any more call?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Akin is my name. I'm calling from Udonelewe.
Good morning, Akin.
I have a question that is bothering my mind about the issue of our president. Is it not possible for him to be impeached?
Oh.
What makes Nigeria to do that so different that our president is difficult for him to be impeached? Now we have the system of government whereby one arm checks the other. Now one arm is failing. Then what is the other arm doing? So I would rather leave the blame out of Buhari and then place it on even the National Assembly. Now they are all there, always talking while these things go on. Let them impeach the president. In an advanced country, the president would have been impeached by now. And then we'll have somebody else, and let's see what that person will do.
Can I?
Okay.
You see, the perspective you're sharing right now, those who have that responsibility, they don't share our perspective. So how do you want them to impeach him when they do not see what we are seeing?
Yes, that's why I'm blaming them. Because now they are there. In fact, now they are gradually becoming victims. Because we've seen political office holders now, their members of their family being kidnapped, and then some of them they've been murdered. So I believe now they will start feeling the pinch, and maybe they will do something about it later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I think you basically said it, because it's the National Assembly. The president enjoys a cordial relationship with the National Assembly, considering that most of them are his party members. So that's not something you would see happen.
Okay, Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. You're live on Splash.
Hello.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
You can hear us.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
I'm Kunle from Amuloko.
Good morning.
From what go of Nigeria, our leaders, especially presidency, they don't even care for us in that aspect. During Sagari, net was on fire the same morning. that NET, Nigerian External Telecommunication, which was headed by Ibrahim Taha that time. President fly out of the country. He didn't bother, he didn't get this and that about it. He was not impeached. During General Obasanjo, bomb blasted heavily, casualty in Ikeja. Did he visit the place? What happened to him? Kudos to late Fawaimi. He blockaded him in the airport, the same airport close to Ikeja cantonment. He didn't bother as Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces. President Jonathan, we will go there, Did he go? He left for France. A lot of them like that say this thing. So that guy could not be the same. But they have people who are in care, who take charge. So if those people are not this thing, we should report them for disciplinary action to be taken. National Assembly is there. They have a lot of committee, which they didn't care about it. So it's just not President first say this thing.
All right, thank you very much,
doesn't
comrade.
matter.
All right, we appreciate you calling in. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. All right.
So I mean, he just made those comments to show us that it's not just Buhari, but just everyone who's been there. Now, I have two things that I want to say to us before we sign out. According to Nigerian law, jungle justice is illegal. Beating a suspect is assault, and killing a suspect is murder. And this is rampant in Nigeria. In Ibadan today, they are killing suspects. Let's be careful. Nigeria's total debt is something that I've been thinking about. As it stands today, we are owing 38.004 trillion naira. So when you are voting next time, think about these figures.
That's for those who even have voter cards. Go and get your voter cards first, and then we'll start a conversation from there.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have not even bothered, so for them, it doesn't concern them. But it seems like all our time is up.
Yes, thank you very much for being a part of the program. Thank you for participating. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you being here. I was going to give out a hamper to two senior secondary school girls.
Head girls.
Two senior secondary school head girls. So we need a number where you can nominate, if you know a head girl of a school that you know you want to nominate to receive this hamper. I've got two. So secondary school head girls in Ibadan. Yes. All right, you can nominate. Let me see. We will just listen out. Hopefully, who's going to be next on live so we can give out a number that you can actually nominate to.
So
not nominate to a number.
Drop it there.
Just nominate to this number. Send a text. If you know a secondary school head girl, you want to give a hamper, just send a text. Text only with their full name and the name of the school. Full name of the school and name of the head girl to 0809 155 1055. On Tuesday, I will be choosing my winners. 0809 155 1055. Send a text with the name of the head girl, name of the school to 0809 155 1055. Thank you for being a part of the program. I'm Ronke, Giwa, Onafuwa.
I'm Oluwaseun, Akinola. Good morning.
My name is Jerome. Good morning.
Eating out at times can be boring, especially when the menu lacks variety. But that's because you've not tried Paris Bakery.